Hello, and welcome to CRJ 340 Juvenile Justice. I'm your instructor, Joseph Costello. I'm an assistant professor of criminal justice here at Siena Heights University. This first picture you're looking at is a typical courtroom for a juvenile court. You obviously can tell where the judge is. My guess is that this person right here is the parent to this particular offender. And my other guess is this particular person is likely a probation officer. Look at the top right here above the young man's head, and you'll see the words, "in the best interest of the child." This isn't something you'll typically see in a juvenile courtroom, but it's a really good thing to remember because the whole premise of the juvenile court is to focus upon the best interest of the child. This is one of the items that distinguishes it from the adult criminal justice system, where the focus is more on punishment. When you sign on to My Siena, you'll come to a page that looks something like this. And what you'll need to look for is some reference to the Canvas home page. Now, this is what the instructor's page looks like, so yours is going to be a little bit different. But what you're going to want to do is to be able to access Canvas, and then when you get there, you'll look for this particular class, CRJ 340 Juvenile Justice. And what you're looking at right now is the home page. And on this particular page, it raises a number of questions that we'll answer during this particular semester. It'll give you an idea of some of the topics that we're going to cover. If you look on the left-hand side here, you'll see that there's all sorts of other sections to access, such as announcements, assignments, discussions, grades, who else is in your classes listed under people, so forth and so on. And then there's this reference to this thing called modules. And we're going to talk a little bit about that now in a moment. But before getting there, and before I recorded what I look like, I was going to try and pull a fast one on you and say, here's your instructor. I sort of wish I looked like him. And then I thought I'd pull another trick on you and say, no, this is your instructor. Today, we're going to cover a course in juvenile justice. And I don't sound like him either, so this is what I really look like. This is a picture of me sitting on the bench in Monroe County when I served as a 38th Circuit Court judge. I did that several years ago before retiring and now teaching here at Siena Heights University. This particular page will give you some of my background information and how to contact me. But there's other places you'll see that you can contact me as well. When you get to this particular page under modules, you'll see that it lists a number of items that you can select, such as the welcome to CRJ 340 that we just mentioned, meet your instructor, and now let's take a look at the next item, which is virtual office. Here you'll have a chance to post some questions to me, and I'll try to get back to you within 2 business days. That is, you post the questions, and I'll try to give you the answers. But I want you to be aware of something else. If you have something of a particularly sensitive nature and rather not post it in a public forum such as this, it tells you that you can send it directly to my email address, and once again, I'll try to answer it within 2 business days. I want you to be assured of that. What else do we have? Under modules, or even under the word syllabus, you'll find the course syllabus. This is the nuts and bolts of this particular course. It tells you about the course, the textbook that we're going to use, how you're going to be graded, what are some of the learning outcomes, what are some of the module outcomes that we hope that you'll learn during this semester, how to access the Writing Center, the Office of Accessibility, the fact that we want to be a community of students and we want to respect each other and each other's opinions during this course because we're going to encourage everyone to have their say. Towards the end of the syllabus, it looks something like this. It's entitled the Fall 2020 Class Schedule. And it will list day by day of each class session what it is we're expected to cover. And you'll notice that there are some links attached under the words assignment. That will take you to another document outside of our textbook, and you won't have to look it up. You just click on that link, and it will take you right to the information I want you to see. And they'll even show you how to access your assignments, and we'll talk again about that in a little bit. There's also a discussion page under modules. This is a time for you to get to know your fellow students. And I posted 5 questions that you might want to consider answering in order to complete this particular exercise. Again, this is just a way to get to know each other a little bit better. So for instance, some of the questions are, what's your name and how do you wish to be addressed? Where are you from? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And then one just for fun. If you could choose a superpower, what would it be and why? Now I'm showing you a module. This one's on Chapter 5 entitled The Police. And you'll see that it has a number of entries, such as Module Overview or the content page that we'll see in a moment, a reading assignment for Week 7 telling you which chapter in our textbook that you'll want to read. There's a video on police arrest and post-arrest procedures for juvenile offenders. We'll see that in a moment as well. And then a couple of exercises where you're going to earn some points. One is a discussion on the video, and another one is an assignment entitled Case Scenario. First of all, the module overview or the content page will look something like this. It will list a number of things that we're hoping that you'll learn. So for instance, on this one about the police, by the end of this module, this is what we hope you'll be able to do. To describe or explain the basis for illegal arrest of a juvenile offender. To compare the different procedures of processing a juvenile offender as compared to an adult offender following an arrest. To explain the options of detaining a juvenile offender in a proper facility following arrest, so forth and so on. Here's that video I spoke about earlier. This one's about 15 minutes in length, and it covers the police arrest and post-arrest procedures for juvenile offenders in a very general fashion. And before watching the video, and I'll try to do this with each assignment, is I'll give you some either statements or questions, things to look out for as you read a particular item or you watch a particular video, so that it will help you focus on what we want you to get out of that particular material. And then you'll notice at the bottom it says, after watching the video, please proceed to the discussion session, which is worth 100 points. And you can access that by going over to the word discussions here on the left-hand side, and it will take you to it. Under item C, it talks about an assignment that is also located in this particular module for Chapter 5. And this assignment is worth 50 points, and now we're going to look at both of them in order. So for instance, here's a sample of the information that you would find under this particular discussion module. And once again, it has a number of questions or statements that you should be on alert for as you go to discuss this with your fellow students. And how will you discuss with them online? Right down here, you see the word reply with an arrow pointing to the left. By clicking on that, it'll give you an opportunity to type inside the rich content editor box that'll show up. You can actually type right in that, and then at the bottom of that particular portion, you have a chance to post it or save it. And then other students can see your original submission, and then they can post replies to it as well. There'll be a rubric for each of these graded exercises that you'll be able to access, and it will tell you exactly what you need to do to earn the most points possible. Here's that other assignment I was talking about. This one's worth 50 points. Now you can't possibly, you might be able to read this, but maybe not. But there's a case scenario here. And just like the video, it shows a few questions that you should be on alert for as you read through this 2-paragraph case scenario. And then in the end, you're going to be asked some questions. For this one, it's something like, should this person be charged as an adult? Should they be charged as a juvenile offender? Can they be arrested with or without a warrant? And then you're going to have an opportunity to access a flowchart that appears as a link at the bottom of this particular assignment. And it will give you an option to choose which path and what process this particular case should take in order to accurately reflect what should happen in this particular case scenario. Now, as you walked around campus, perhaps you'd seen this beautiful building. This is Sacred Heart. This is a little bit of a dated picture. Those trees right in front of it right here are no longer there. In its place is a beautiful, beautiful piece of sculpture that recognizes and celebrates the 100th anniversary of our great university, which we celebrated just last year. And if you look real close up here on the 4th floor, I'm waving to you right now. Well, I hope you didn't look, because this is a still picture. This isn't a video, so I wasn't doing that. Now get your cell phone cameras ready, because you're going to want to take a picture of this. Here's my contact information. Should you wish to contact me now or at a later date, there's the information, there's where my office is located, along with my email address. Well, I hope that you're happy that you've signed up for this particular course. I'm going to try to make it as interesting as possible, and I hope I'll whet your appetite in this particular area, whether you're a criminal justice major or not. See you soon.